From the flames we emerge, from the hurt we learn. I was shattered, bruised and torn, left alone to rebuild, reborn. You took my voice.
Welcome to
I
Phoenix's
took the
Rising
pain.
Academy with your guide, Coach T. This is where survivors of narcissistic abuse, psychic warfare, and spiritual exhaustion come to get their bodies back, reclaim their will, and rise. Now, let's get started. Thank you so much to returning. This is the second part of Psychic Tension Fields, when your body detects a narcissist before you do. This is a part 2. And we're just going to get right into it. This segment of this part is called Surveillance States When Management Becomes a Psychic Predator. The modern workplace has become a digital panopticon. For trauma survivors, being constantly observed does not inspire great performance. It collapses sovereignty. Micromanagement and hyper-surveillance mirror totalitarian control systems. Your body responds like it's living under siege. The amygdala insula loop, which governs shame, fear, and bodily discomfort, becomes hyperactive. The brain centers. Volition inhibitory center is repeated control. It is a repeated control that repeated control dulls your will. You stop asserting, speaking, and deciding. Memory coordination hub. Fragmentation increases under surveillance. You can't track events. You forget conversations. You lose clarity. This is cognitive erosion. Syphis proof. Over-monitored workers often develop psychosomatic illnesses like headaches, nausea, or body pain. It's the body protesting being spiritually stripped of privacy. Go figure. Now, silent drive exercise. Close your eyes. Ask, where is my will being monitored? On each exhale, silently affirm, my sovereignty is sacred and off limits. Again, my sovereignty is sacred and off limits. Science check. MIT research shows chronic surveillance induces cortisol spikes comparable to combat exposure. This is combat stress in business casual. And I was I had this recent experience. It's about 2 months ago, working for a security company that is very lackadaisical, very sexist, very racist, but more sexist than racist. And again, just a bunch of males, and they knew how to do reactionary abuse. Reactionary abuse is when a narcissist starts something with you, and then once they get a reaction out of you, then they point the finger and say, "See, I told you that person was crazy. I told you that person was violent." Okay, that's you are having a reaction to the abuse that has been going on and on and on and on. When at first you weren't. Remember? At first you weren't. First you were just like, okay, I'm going to chill. It's not a big deal. I'm going to walk away or whatever. Okay. So at this job, this is exactly what they were doing. And one thing I understood was because I was being monitored by the psychotic stalker, cluster B personality, and they were still trying to get me out of a job. They did not like that I was self-sufficient, that I could live my own life. And it amazes me still to this day because it's like I've been living my own life until it wasn't popular anymore for not just me, but others like me to live our lives and go about our business and not want to interact with anybody. And I think this really hyped up after COVID and the lockdowns. Like narcissists were not getting the supply. They weren't it's like the whole storyline, the whole production just shut down for them. And that was the most scariest thing because what the thing is that narcissists do cluster B personalities do not like being gray rocked. They don't like it when people go about their business. They don't because they feel abandoned. It's their own shit. It has nothing to do with us. We're not the problem, nor are we going to be the solution for them, right? The way that they want us to be the solution. The way that they want us to be the solution is to hold us captive, to abuse us in whatever perverted way that that the demons, tell them would be a good idea. And then, once we're dried up, they put us in a cage or whatever and they lock us up. They go over to the other supply that they've been grooming and then they try and come back once we rejuvenate, right? So they know the process of abuse. They know the cycle of abuse. They know it. I had a neighbor the other day. I just moved to this place and I had this neighbor who sent her kids. Like I've literally, when I say that I've just moved here, I've only been here for 7 days. 7 days, 6 nights. And I felt this lady targeting me, right? And this is what I said in the previous episode, that I want you guys to understand when it starts. That way you can keep that in mind anytime. It's like a, oh God, what is it? Like a point, like a, oh, I see the statue here and I don't know the street names, but I know that the statue is over here, right? And so it's that focal point because that can help you get up from the confusion and illusions that these guys are trying to put you through, that the cluster B personality tries to convince you that you're crazy when they're gaslighting. It's like, no, because if I can articulate, and I saw this lady and I saw her looking at me and I saw her husband and I pegged them as toxic. I pegged them as cluster B personalities. And um and I said, I went away from them. I did not, but I filed it. And she came in because who does that? You used your kids. Now where I live is there's a big toy, all the stuff. That's 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet away from my apartment, right? You, why are your kids riding their scooters right in front of, you see what I'm saying? It did not make any sense. And it was quite obvious. And I'm like, okay, so why are you so desperate? Again, I've only been here for 7 days, 6 nights. So I go outside and because I'm hearing her and I'm hearing the kids and they're right up against my window because she's being nosy because I have something that's blocking. The way I have my air conditioning set up and, the way that these windows are, I have to have my blinds up, which, people can see in. Now I don't have other curtains, right? Again, just moved here. So I put some other things up. And it's amazing to me that people think that it's their business to look inside. This isn't government surveillance, you guys, right? These are people who are bored with their life or just hell bent. What I found from this lady was that she just wanted to have attention. She wanted to have something to complain about. I think that was just it. She was targeting me because I was black and female and she was Latina. And unfortunately, Latinos at this juncture are trying insidious, sadistic ways to try and get back at black people specifically black women, it seems to me, but black people, because black men will just be like, hey, but they're partnering on sexism, right? Just like my job. My job was partnering on sexism. So it didn't matter if you were black or white, as long as you spoke sexist, speech, you were okay, right? Um, but with this lady, it was, again, pegged her. I said, I was hoping that it wasn't gonna happen. She made her move, and when I went outside, I opened my door, and I looked, and she's, like, right there. Like, you're right outside of my apartment, and it makes no sense for you to be there. You didn't just stop there and post up or whatever, but you see what I'm saying? It's this monitoring where she felt that she had a right, and then when I looked her dead in her eyes, and I said, yeah, clean this up." 'Cause she said, "Oh, yeah, I was telling us," like, "Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense for your kids to be out here." Right? And then I shut the door and I said, "This is my property. I just got here, and I will not tolerate any type of bullying, harassing, or gaslighting in any way, shape, or form." And because she was, because she got an attitude with me, like, "Oh, and anyway." No, 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 no. Back it up, because I'm not gonna be what you think that I'm going to be. And that's the other thing, is that a lot of times narcissists, cluster B people, personalities have been traumatizing people for so long that they're arrogant in what they do. And the arrogance comes from, they think everybody else is stupid. You have to think that everybody else is stupid in order for you to do the ugly, evil, demonic things that you do. And it starts out just really insidious, really subtle. Now, if I probably, and I don't know, because I am who I am, you know, I'm a seer. I've been trained to see things from with spiritual eyes. I felt it. I knew it. I said, okay, something's, my spirit guide said, go ahead and get up and tell her. And I was calm as all get out. Like, but it's that kind of calm where it's like, I'm, if you try me, you're going to wish that you never had, but it'll be too late by that time. Right. And I'm not for turning the other cheek. If I've set a boundary, and I don't have to tell you, and at this juncture, having gone through gang stalking and gang stalkers who have now become obsessed with me, occultists and witches and warlocks who have, repeatedly attacked my body and certain parts of my body because of their little fascinations and perversions. I mean, some of the things, Phoenix, is that if you stay on this journey and if you keep on your own personal healing, and we get to know each other, that you're going to be like, this is some surreal sci-fi supernatural stuff that you're talking about. Is yes. Yes. And there's more of us like me that have gone through this. So, but anyway, it was the surveillance. It was, and actually I had just sprayed a mixture of bleach, water, and Coralina, right? Or a Coralina, yeah, this thing is Coralina. And I just gone out there, and I was sick because I'd taken the girls out because it gets hot where I'm at. And so I'd taken the girls out while it was still cool, and then something said, spray your area. And because I had smelled some marijuana, I was like, okay. And this was only on the fifth day. And I said, the beauty is that I don't have to smell garbage, that I don't have to smell marijuana. You see what I'm saying? Coming from where I lived before. And so I said, no, that's a astral terrorist. That's somebody who is projecting themselves, and they're spying. They're remote viewing and then the next day it was the same thing. And my little girl, my fur baby, did not want to go outside. She was like, no. And she's gifted. I haven't paid a lot of attention to her because when my other fur baby Prosperity was alive and with us in the flesh, I mean, she did take precedence because she was the first, for a year. And then, but my other fur baby, she actually gave babies. She gave birth. But anyway, she's not the first time that she's kept me out of trouble, you know. And this time I was just like, oh, I'm so sick of this. You know what I mean? Like, do you mean that they followed us again? Like they did the first time? And so, but anyway, So I was spraying and I was, doing my incantations and my decrees, and, no one shall come into this space, no negative demonic entity, regardless whether timeline, realm, or dimension. You have no, I am not to be possessed. My environment is not to be possessed. You are not welcome here, and I do command you to flee. Right? And so all that. So that's what I think it really was. But because, and I thought, and God said she sent the children. She sent the children first, and she stayed at a distance. So it's just like in Sinners, a hate. Some people are alive, but dead inside. And they know that they have to have permission, but they will use, and that cluster B personalities, covert narcissist parents will use their kids as collateral because they've been expendable anyway. Right? So anyway, let's see here's just to finish to wrap this up. The science check. MIT research shows chronic surveillance induces cortisol spikes comparable to combat exposure. This is combat stress in business casual. Okay, we said that. So what if hypermanagement was a psychic invasion and your body already knew, right? So we're going back into the body's phoenixes because the body knows, the body keeps score. Hopefully you enjoyed this segment, and I just want to say, from the ashes we rise, from the soul we lead. We are not too broken. You are coded for rebirth. I invite you to download a free journal at the link in my profile, and visit www.phoenixesrisingacademy.com. Please like, subscribe, and share this one with one person at least who needs to remember who they are. Your nervous system is sacred. Your energy is currency. Your soul is in command now. I love you. Until next time.
I'm breaking chains. I'm the phoenix rising.